know it's only midway through Governor Edwards' term, but would you care to lay out do you see any GOP challengers beyond Nunn-Kessler and Landry? And also, if you wouldn't mind, could you maybe speculate on who you think may carry the Democratic flag for governor in 2023?
So the two halves of this question, one would be possible Republican challengers other than Nunn-Kessler and Landry, and the second would be the Democratic standard bearer. Democratic standard bearer, that to me is a fairly cut and dry question to ask. You do have, as I understand, State Senator Gary Smith from Norco, and I would certainly not discount other Democrats of varying levels of the political food chain, as it were, jumping in. On the Republican side, to me, for an election that conveys as much power as the governorship does, I don't see that you would have only a two Republican contest. That's an awful long time to have a governor's race between just two people. As to the who could possibly run, I'm always careful about engaging in speculation, but if you are of a stature to where you're having to go on TV regularly because, let's say, you're a public service commissioner or a congressman, and therefore you have one or more media markets in your district, those types of elected officials logically have to be considered in terms of who could be a governor, because they immediately have some degree of name recognition. And you can make the same argument about legislators. In legislators' cases, of course, you have a much higher bar to clear, and that is you've got to get known in your immediate area first before you can even contemplate going statewide. Now, you can of course say, well, John Bel Edwards had the same challenge in 2015, and yes, he did. However, he was the only Democrat running, number one. And number two, I think that his being the only Democrat automatically gave him a certain percentage of the vote that basically freed him up to spend the balance of his time appealing to soft Republicans and or independents to get to 50% of the vote. So I believe there's going to be more people jumping into the governor's race because, after all, 2023, we're still talking 2 years away. I see a window of probably about 14 to 15 more months where someone could still jump in and not be quote-unquote behind. And those are the types of candidates who I would see as being possible contenders on the Republican side statewide.